Hello, my name is Josh Kanan, and this is the Premier Money Minute. I'm in the midst of a 4-part video series where we're talking about different types of investors and how to cope and deal with what we're going through in this very difficult economic time, this very difficult situation with the coronavirus and how it's impacting all of our lives. And the first one, I talked about the accumulation phase investor. Now I'm going to talk about somebody that's not accumulating any longer, but they're also not in the distribution mode where they're taking monies out of their portfolio. You're kind of in the waiting mode. This type of investor tends to be a little bit nervous in a time like this because they're maybe no longer earning a paycheck, maybe they're getting a pension, maybe they got one spouse working, one spouse not working, or they're just about on the verge of retirement and they haven't quite taken the monies out of their portfolio yet, but they're getting ready to. If you are this type of investor, this is a great time to sit down, revisit your goals, see if it might make sense to work maybe another year longer or postpone that retirement just a little bit. Also might be a good time to look at your allocation, run your financial plan to say, hey, even with the downturn in the current stock market, does my plan still work? Is it still a high probability that I can still retire, start distributing monies out of my portfolio and still make it last? The other thing you want to consider in this environment is potentially rebalancing your portfolio or looking at your allocation just to make sure that the proper level of risk is being taken. And so when we talk about rebalancing, that means looking at some of the asset classes that have done well or held up in this environment and maybe taking some of the profits off of those asset classes like bonds, and then maybe looking at the asset classes that have been beaten up and using some of those proceeds to buy some of those asset classes. So this is a good environment to kind of revisit all of that with your advisor. Definitely want to make sure you don't make any panic decisions or rash decisions that could ultimately have a significant impact on your retirement. So this is the advice we would give if you're kind of in that in-between or waiting mode. Thanks for listening to the Premier Money Minute. Until next time.